Hey everyone, Ethan here from Extreme RC 4x4, and today what I have in front of me is the ProBoat Alpha Patrol boat, and what I'm going to be showing you is a modification that I've made to help make the boat more serviceable and also make filming easier for me. So one of the big problems that I was having when I was driving this in my yard, mostly when it would flood during the winter, was that you end up with the jet drives getting clogged with weeds, or in this case grass. It's not such a big problem when you're on open water, I found. However, having to take the jet drives apart requires you to pull this piece off of the back of the boat, which is 6 screws, which made it kind of a pain to have to do the jet drives because you had to take all this off. You got to take the 2 jet parts on the back off, and anyways, you can see that in the servicing video, but I'll go ahead and show you what I've done here. So here is the plate that I've designed up. It uses the same exact bolt pattern and installs the same way. The only thing that's different about it is that there's not the scale accessories on it, and mine is made of aluminum rather than the plastic that is on here. Also, this has gasket on it, and I'm not really sure how important that is, but it doesn't bother me that there's not a gasket on there, because if water does leak into the hull, I don't really have an issue with that, because either way there's going to be sitting water right there. As you can see, I have a GoPro mount right there, so if I choose to film the video, I can throw a GoPro on there. I'm hoping to test it out in the future here, but I have not filmed with this yet. So these 2 screws here are 6mm thread. They were originally M6 by 10mm, but I've cut them down with the Dremel cutting tool just because they would be hitting where the jet drives go. So I cut them down. Got a little rust on the end already, it looks like. But basically I just left the tap on there and then cut it off and then spun the tap back off, and this plate is threaded so that you can just screw them in. I also put this O-ring right here. What the O-ring is for is so that I don't have to tighten these screws tight up against the aluminum. That the O-ring is kind of giving a springy effect, so normally you're not carrying around a 10mm socket with these RCs. So as you can see, that's already tight, but it's not so tight that you can't get it off with your fingers or a set of pliers, and at the same time it's not going to leak. And the reason for having those holes positioned right there is so that you can pull the grub screws out of those jet drives. It's kind of difficult to see in there just because of how dark it is, but the goal was so that you can pull your put your Allen wrench in there so you can service them. So now that you have that, so the easiest way that I've really found to be able to line up your the holes for those grub screws is by using the little fins inside of the motor. They're almost like cooling fins. I'll show you them. Right in our hole right here in the motor, kind of a slot, you can see there's kind of fins. If you can just pry at those with the Allen wrench, there's really no trouble to move that. So just go ahead and find that hole. So just like that, you can see I'm on it, so that saves me a bunch of screws taking all this off. However, I still do have to take the jet drives on the bottom off. So basically this plate was intended for just being a mount for the camera, but when I was going through and designing it, I figured I would go ahead and throw the holes in there so that I can make it just that much easier for me to maintain it if it comes to me having to clean those jet drives out in the future. But if you have an interest in these, shoot me an email at extremrc4x4@gmail.com. I'm going to try to remember to leave it in the description. But thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.